Hello, this is the challenge free video of Windows event logs for the 2022 Holiday Hack Challenge. Just making sure that I'm not making the live stream mistake again, but everything seems to be good, so let's jump into the challenge. Before we could jump into the challenge, we need to find our next objective by talking to Dusty. So let's go and talk to Dusty, which is the elf just next to the terminal. I'm going to switch to Dusty here and let him give us all the details about the challenge. Now this challenge you can also do offline if you like, but the terminal is probably a better choice in this case. So I'm going to use the terminal. And the reason why it's better, because the link here for working offline points to an EVTX file, but in the terminal you already have it in a text format. So if we just give it a quick look, you can see that these are the Windows event log information in a textual format. It's going to be a bit challenging to grab around here, but I think it's still a better choice than trying to do this with PowerShell, because the standard good old bash tools will be much faster. Alright, so the story is about stealing, someone stole a secret ingredient and modified the recipe, and we pretty much need to investigate. So should we begin the investigation? Yes, we should. And similar to the previous one, if you keep on typing hint, you will get all the hints available for the given question. The first question is, what month, day, year did the attack take place? For example, and then they give us the format that they expect, which is the same format that we have here in the logs. So this requires us to take a closer look at the log file. I'm probably going to do this without line wraps, just to make it a bit easier to read. So like I said, it's quite tricky because not every event has detailed context. Some of them are really just a single line, but we are looking for the lines. Wow, there's plenty of these lines here. We're looking for lines with an actual date and timestamp. So to determine which of the events, or which of the days had most events rather, we can just filter for a term like verbose here is kind of unique for all of these lines, and then extract the date information. This is imperfect, but it gets the job done. So the command that I came up with to solve this is this grab. So we're doing the case insensitive search for the word verbose. I might as well just do it case sensitive. So we're going to grab just those lines from the logs, and then I'm selecting the first column here, which is going to be, actually it's the second column in this case, which is the date column here, as you can see. So we're really just grabbing this part, and then we do a sort unique sort, which will do a sort of frequency analysis. We're doing it numerically and in a reverse order to have the most frequent value first. And this is the result that we come back. So the highest number of events where we had the term verbose showing up is this date here. Let you hold down Shift, copy from this, and then pasting, it's Control Shift V. And that's it. So you really just need to find here the date with the most number of events. Like I said, this is imperfect, but it's close enough. So there are probably other events with different event level, so not the verbose events, but you might saw others like information type of events, but it's good enough, and we got the right answer, so let's move on. For the next question, we have 2 hints, and here the question is, an attacker got a secret from a file. What was the original file name? Alright, so for this next one, we can kind of zoom on this date here and see the events related to that one. Now, I'll do that just to show that this is not gonna be enough. There's one little problem here. I'm not sure if I actually selected and copied this, so let's do it one more time. And then PowerShell log. And I'm probably going to pipe this to less, just to show again the issue here. So this is great. I'm getting all the lines for this given day. However, I'm not getting the context part. And to get that part, what we can do is we can say, I want to have also the lines after the match. So this will give us a much more detailed view with some of the context here. And the last piece here is the actual PowerShell command that we're looking at. We can make the assumption here that we're going after PowerShell commands because of the name of the log file and also this reference here, which points to add content as the command. So we can grab for add content, for example. And the line graph makes it a bit harder to read this, but you can see the details here for some of the lines, and we see that the last one here is actually on top, so this is in reverse order. As you can see, this is the latest date here. Oops. And in this case, the file that the just one sec. So the file that the attacker was manipulating was the recipe updated txt here. Yeah, that was the original file name. So this is the actual original file name because this is an earlier event than the ones that we saw on top, like this one here where they're adding content. We'll see what was added to this actually. So we'll just do a Control-C and then Control-Shift-B. Recipe updated. And then the next question here. Values of the previous file was received, changed, and stored in a variable by the attacker. Yep, we see this variable here. That's this $foo value here, so the foo variable. This was done multiple times, so the last full PowerShell line that performed only these actions. So for this one, we can do, and then we can also check out the hint. So we're looking for get content in this case instead of add content. And again, the last line here is the one on top. Seems to be this one. We'll see if I got the right one. So Control-C and then Control-Shift-D. So this was the last one because this is the one on top. Yep, that was the correct one. Right, after storing the altered file contents into the variable, the attacker used the variable to run a separate command that wrote the modified data to a file. This was done multiple times, summing the last full PowerShell line that performed only this action. So in this case, what I did is changing from content, I went after the variable here. Oh, sorry. What was I? Was missing something here. Another blooper. Oh, I'm doing the wrong. Oh, no, yeah, I see my mistake here. So this $sign here is getting interpreted by the shell. So always use single quotes. Always use single quotes. There it is. Much nicer. All right. So last line was requested again. This is the one on top. Yeah. Operating this terminal is a little bit out of the ordinary way of copying and pasting, but it works. All right, very good. So next, the attacker ran the previous command against the file multiple times. Yeah, we can see this one quite a few cases. What is the name of this file? So this one here, we see it multiple times occurring. That is recipe txt. Were any files deleted? Now this hint, I think it's quite useful, even though you only get this hint. This is a table of basic PowerShell commands from Dr. Scripto, who has excellent things on. So this is the name under where you can find some of the PowerShell related content on Microsoft articles. And if you search for something like deletion related, you will find remove item, but maybe the attacker used, instead of remove item, just the shorthand del. So we can modify the previous command. And we do see 2 deletions. I mean, we can, just for prudency's sake, also check remove item. And in the module blocks, special module blocks, we do see these remove items, 2 of them, if I'm not mistaken, and they should match with these, which are probably from the script bot logs. So were files deleted? Yes, there were. But hints, just 1 hint is available. Was the original file deleted? All right, so this one here requires a bit of combination of everything that we know so far. So just getting back these deletion lines and then looking at the info that we got on the foo variable and all these alterations, recipe updated and recipe txt was affected and deleted, but recipe, so not txt, was not. So that's a no, because we only see 2 deletions, but 3 files were manipulated. More hints for question 8. So this one is, what is the event ID of the logs that show the actual command lines the attacker typed and ran? This question actually does not require us to do any analysis, but if you are looking for details with this command and the foo variable that we saw, so those were the actual commands, we can look at the lines before that match. And this was in the context part of the logs. So to identify the event ID, it's the lines preceding that block in the details. Actually, before doing this, let me see if I can do. So what I'm talking about here is in the context, you have all the details, but you need the line above it because this one contains the event ID. So this command here will take 2 more lines above the match. so that we can see the date and the event ID. And in this case, for all of these commands, the event ID is 4104, which is script block logging. That's the actual content that gets typed in or pasted into a PowerShell session, as opposed to module logs, which are 4103. We saw a couple of those, and that's the entire invocation of a given PowerShell commandlet. So if it's a PowerShell script that has multiple invocations, that will generate log lines in module logs. Anyways, the answer here is 4114. And then, was the secret ingredient compromised? I'm not sure if we have a hint. Oh, we do. Interesting. One hint: use the context clues from all the questions. If we go back to these, we can see that we had alterations here in the recipe. Honey was replaced by fish oil. I would say, yep, because with fish oil, you're definitely not going to get the same taste for a cookie, for example. And what is the secret ingredient? It's honey. And that's the end of this challenge. So we can look at our new achievement here. And the fact that we just finished this challenge. Now we need to find our next objective, but that's for the next video. So pretty easy challenge, although you need to master either PowerShell tools or Bash tools, which I think is still easier and faster to solve this challenge. And you have to grab in very realistic challenge. Often attackers do use PowerShell, so it's a great skill to get familiar with PowerShell event logs. That's it for this video. Hope to see you in the next one. We're going to solve the, I believe it's the last or one before the last challenge for the Tolkien ring, and hopefully obtain the ring even.